Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to part 2 of the February Wallpaper live draw. As a reminder, I'm Yamino, and I'm joined tonight by
the one, the only, the incredible, the indelible Ash Barnes. I write the missing moments, and I help Eleanor write the comic. And we are also joined tonight by special guest...
Overexcited fangirl, ascended to editor, Laura.
Yay!
Very excited to be here again.
And in the background, you can hear my dog eating her food very loudly.
The ting, 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 ting.
That's me eating dinner on the side.
God.
Rose is full of joie de vivre.
She is.
What's that mean?
Joy of living. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, it's français.
And then look across the table at Winkle.
Also joining us tonight is my cat, who will hopefully not be really noisy and cry to be spanked.
She's just, right now, she's just giving everyone these very flat looks of mustard-colored murder. Like,
Mustard-colored murder.
That's a nice description of her steely, murderous gaze.
Yeah.
She's keeping an eye on all of us. I think she's the true boss of this team.
Uh-huh.
She wants to make sure we're all working.
This wouldn't be a true Valentine's Day picture if there weren't rose petals all over everything.
Yes, they are clearly essential.
Mm-hmm.
It looks weird for me to see Mummel's eyes closed. I feel like she'd be looking at them under her lashes, like, oh.
Like, yes, I tapped that.
She's tired. She just did a lot of stuff.
She did a lot of heavy lifting.
Yes.
Though, look at her partners, my God. She probably lifted Michelle with a pinky.
Yeah, I don't know that this qualifies as heavy lifting.
True. Oh, Artsy has a question for you, Elena.
Oh.
She says, Yamino, artistic cue. At what point did you start really liking your drawing style and feeling like Sister Clara was coming together as a comic?
I think probably... I'm now wondering, did that ever happen? I mean, I feel like in retrospect, there was a point in book 1 where I felt like, yeah, I've really nailed the art style. And looking back on it, I was like, oh my God, this is awful. I can't print this. I have to redraw it all. Now, at the point where I am at now, I really like how my art is coming out, and I will hopefully not feel the same level of horror when I look back on it in 8 years' time. But who's to say? Maybe I will, and I'll be like, this is unprintable. I have to fix it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I go through phases of both feeling really happy with it and really unsatisfied. And I think to some extent that's kind of a healthy attitude for a creator to have, to feel like you're happy with it, but you see where there's improvement possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty happy with it right now. Although I can't say that for a good chunk of it I wasn't just, flying by the seat of my pants and really hoping that nobody would see I was making it up as I went. And yeah.
The difference between the first design of Catherine and the final design.
Yeah. Catherine gave me so much trouble for some reason. Like, for a long time, I just couldn't ever draw her the same way twice. And I'm really glad that I redrew her in book 1 when we printed it, because, she really went through a lot of weird looks. She had kind of, in some panels, like a Picasso thing going on where her features were sort of swimming around because I didn't know where to put them on her face. And
they are somewhere over here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's fine, it's fine. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Artsy asks, do you think comics should do retcons?
Sure, if they want to. Why not? Everything else does retcons.
Mm-hmm. I think, we have done retcons. And I remember at first, a long time ago when I joined the comic, and the missing moments were really starting to get a foothold. People were always asking, are you going to change anything in the comic? How can you possibly marry these two, like, different storytelling styles? And people
read the next chapter.
Yeah. People they liked the story in the missing moments, but the main comment that we got over and over again was that the vibe in the missing moments and the characters there, they didn't really jive with the comic characters. At least, especially at the beginning of the comic. And so Elena and I sat down and we talked about this a lot. And at first we were like, we're not going to change the comic. Eventually one will catch up with the other. But the more we talked about it, the more we were like, we would actually like to change the comic to make it a better story. And to have it reflect the story that Elena had, she wants to tell now versus the story she wanted to tell 10 years ago, or wasn't even sure what story she wanted to tell 10 years ago. So we retconned some stuff, and of course, there were people who were upset about it, because there are people who are going to be upset about anything.
And also, I guess to give them a little more credit, they may have been following it for 8 years, and it's kind of weird to go back and read it, and now it's different after it's been one way for 8 years.
I can definitely see it from that perspective, but I don't feel like there's anything wrong with doing retcons. I feel like if you have to do them left and right, then maybe you need some help with your story.
Not only that, but I also feel like there's a big difference between doing retcons like people do in movies. Sometimes, like with Star Wars, George Lucas just wanted to sell 12 different versions of the same movie. Mm-hmm. So he would just keep re-releasing things with slightly different edits and stuff. And that's not what we're doing. Like, all of the improvements we've made are just that. They're improvements. Mm-hmm. And they're there for a reason. Not because we sold the old version and now a new version and we're going to do another one in 3 years or something.
Yeah. Laura, there's a question for you.
Oh, that's new.
Happy Sketch says, being not an English speaker, have you faced some funny accents or pronunciation mistakes?
There is so many of them that Laura mispronounces an English word and it's funny, is already a household meme.
Yes. Laura, say the place with all the sand and the ocean.
No, I will not. And the worst part of this is that often when I mispronounce a word, the word that I want to say is like perfectly innocent, it's fine, I can say it in polite conversation in front of everyone's parents, and the word that I accidentally end up saying is not some word for polite company, which is always fun.
What's that thing that you turn the light on when you want to see in the dark?
Yeah, there's also another word that I'm not saying. Because that's also the thing. Sometimes when I mispronounce words, I can hear the difference between the two words, so I don't know if I'm mispronouncing them or not. Mm-hmm. So I just don't use them all together. Apparently, I don't know how to say other. I probably just said something completely different right now.
With context, I can know what you're saying, but to me, when you say it sounds like what you squeeze on a cow to make the milk come out.
Yeah, so you have just witnessed one of those in real life.
The other night, y'all, Laura said something that was really funny, and of course, it was helped in its humor by the fact that it was 3 a.m. So everything's funny at 3 a.m., right? But Laura was trying to be super helpful. She was trying to help.
By the way, nobody is peeing next to the computer. That's my tea.
I was just going to say, Elena, you might need to clarify the pissing sound is not actually active piss.
And it's not any of the creatures.
Yeah.
This time.
Not this time.
Jesus.
Oh, so Artsy just said, I mispronounced a Sweden city and accidentally called a Swedish woman a bad word. I feel you. I understand.
But the other night, it was 3 a.m., and Laura was trying to be super helpful by filling the humidifier in our bedroom.
I am such a good person, guys.
So she's trying to fill the humidifier, and it's faster to fill it in the bathtub under the faucet, because that, gushes water a lot faster than the sink.
Yeah.
But she was trying to pull the little lever that makes the shower go to the bottom faucet, and she couldn't quite get a grip on it, so I reached over there and I did it for her. And Laura looked at me and she said, "Oh, thanks for getting it. I was having a hard time. You know that feeling when your nails come away from your meats?" Your nails come away from your meats.
I said meat in the singular, okay?
You said meats.
No, I did not.
Okay, fine. But when your
You
nails...
are thinking of when I say my fats.
Okay.
That's different.
That's hilarious. But she said, when your nails come away from your meat. And I looked at her like, oh, because, like, technically it is correct, but it is the most horrible description of what happened. It's like something you read in a Stephen King novel. Is it
technically correct, though? Because when I hear meat or meats, I'm thinking of, like, chicken legs or something.
This is meat. No, and under your fingernail, that's meat. And she was talking about your fingernail peeling away from that. And, you know, it's like, it's a horrible thought. And
yeah, you have a lot of courage telling me that's a horrible thought when you wrote Bridget.
Yes.
Actually, I kind of wrote Bridget.
You didn't write Bridget. You just came up with the idea.
It was a joint effort, so none of you can say shit about me.
I kind of twisted Ash's arm to write Bridget. I was like, what if there's a witch who's super powered? Get this. She can pull out her fingernails forever. And Ash was like, no. And I was like, but yes.
So yes, like we say in Brazil, we are flower from the same sack, Elena.
From the same sack?
From the same sack. That's the word. I can't help it.
Okay.
Elena's just like, all right.
It just means bag. Not one comment. Move on.
That reminds me
we
of that.
We should probably not be yelling because it's like almost midnight and people upstairs are trying to sleep, as well as people in across other walls. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so Laura said that, and I was like crying. And apparently I woke up the whole house with my hyena laughter.
She just sat on the bed and started crying. And I was so confused because I didn't think it was funny.
It was really funny.
I was just like, Ash, what is it? What was so funny?
Oh. Artsy says, oh, Yamino, for your inking, do you have the G-pin set with hand sensitivity?
Well, you can see all the tool properties right here. There's brush size, opacity, stabilization. Yeah, is there like a thing for the sensitivity? I mean, I am using a Wacom tablet that has sensitivity built in. I don't remember if I did anything special to it or if I just used it out of the box. But yes, it does have pressure sensitivity on.
Oh, Budgie asks, do you guys have a house or an apartment? It's both. So technically this place is an apartment, but we are in a...
It's a condo.
It's a condo. Yeah, it's like a 2-level... Is that a split level?
Yeah.
It's a split level condo, and we share a couple of walls with our neighbors, and the other walls are ours. So, like, every unit, because there's 4 units to a building, and they all meet at that one, like, on those 2 corners, every single unit is a corner unit.
Mm-hmm.
Matt says, question, do newborn shards take on the shape of a baby because babies are the shape of a shell awaiting a soul like a fetus? Some newborn shards take on that shape, not all of them. Forgive me for rustling around, sorry. Oh, Matt says, is that the reason why they take on that shape, though? Maybe in some instances, yes, but they largely take on the shape of a baby because, like Artsy just said, babies are helpless and we are ingrained to help babies. Yeah, they take the form of babies to draw in prey.
I feel like if Clementine were here, she would be like, it's not because they're trying to draw pay, it's because they're trying to draw help.
It depends on the perspective, doesn't it?
Yes, depends on who you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to ask Mother Abraham.
If you were to ask Mother Abraham, she would say both.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because a shard is asking for help. It becomes enraged when whoever finds it can't help it. Most of the time, the thing that finds it does not try to help it. It tries to hurt it.
Well, they also hurt people unintentionally, too.
Yeah, they do. That's very fair.
Question, is it common for like small shards to appear? Or is it more common for the pain to build up until they appear already large?
It's a lot more common for small shards to appear. Yeah.
So the Mega Kitty shard is not unheard of, but it is less usual.
Mm-hmm. Usually, too, big shards are prevented. Like, a lot of small shards or medium-sized shards are pretty common around an area, give or take. But big shards are usually caused by the death of lots of people, like at once or within a pretty limited amount of time. And in places like that, you usually have a lot of nuns or other forces that come to help, keep the big shards from forming. That's what people like Abraham are for.
Oh, tell that to wolf witches.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Artsy said, like a hurting animal that wants help but wants to defend itself. Yeah, a lot like that.
Or sometimes when animals are injured, if you try to pick them up or something, they'll lash out instinctively, and it's not even because, if you have a pet dog that's hurt and you try to pick it up, it doesn't want to bite you, but out of fear and pain, it might do that, even though you've taken care of it its whole life and it doesn't really want to hurt you.
I mean, it's not just animals that do that.
Mm-hmm.
People do that. I mean, my God, have you ever tried to restrain a kid that's hurt? They might love you to pieces, but wow. And that's also why it's instinct for you to try to prevent something from hurting you. It's often, I'll never forget being at the doctor's office once where they were trying to use one of those dipsticks to get a smear of something from the back of my throat because I had strep or something, and they wanted to look at it, tastily under a microscope. And the doctor has this wooden dipstick, and he's like, okay, I'm going to stick this into the back of your throat. Don't grab my hand.
Okay, fun.
And I'm like, okay, I'll try my best not to. He sticks it into the back of my throat. Of course I grabbed his wrist because he's shoving a thing in my mouth and I don't like it. And it's like, sometimes you just can't help it.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
I've never had a situation like that, but I'm thinking about how they always say if you're trying to rescue a drowning person, don't just jump in and try to pick them up because they'll instinctively step on you to get to the surface. Without thinking, they will drown you in the process.
Yeah, having been a lifeguard, there was a thing too that we were always warned to try to give the person a life ring first if we had one. And if we didn't, we were, supposed to warn this drowning person, if you cling to me and try to pull me under, I will have to break your fingers. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you break their fingers, not only can they not cling to you, but they're so distracted by that they won't try. So, and then you get them to shore.
Yeah, that's much better to have broken fingers than
Died,
yeah.
Yeah.
Than no life to move the fingers with.
Yeah, and it's not like you break all of them, just one. So
it's not like you're the person is drawing and you're should have looked like, whoops! Whoops!
Yeah.
Whoops!
It's not like you're going, and one more.
One little piggy, two little piggy, and they're just like, ah!
Yeah.
Oh, Seth is here.
Hi, Sephi. On that note.
On that note. Speaking of people who are here, for those of you who don't know, we had a meetup. Just to make sure nobody get that mistaken, we had, in the past, a meetup in New York. I met some of the guys, some of the people in the Sister Claire fandom. It was awesome.
we had a really good time. We were sorry Elena couldn't be there, but we were really glad that Laura got to meet some of the fandom. Thank you everyone for being so kind, for traveling to meet us, and for spending a lovely afternoon with us. Well, morning and afternoon and early evening.
Yes.
Thank you for braving the rain and the city. We appreciate it very much. And there were so many good questions.
People were on fire during that
Yeah.
meetup. And some of the people in the Discord were witnessing it too. So I imagine that a lot of discussion was sparkled.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean they had like a live stream? of you guys?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
And we were really surprised that people were able to hear us.
Yeah. Matt said, I'm sorry you got sick because of the rain, Ash. And it's like, I don't know if it was the rain or if it was just being on airplanes and stuff. Like, I have a really weak immune system right now anyway. And traveling a lot is really not super great for me. I tend to do it anyway because fuck the police. But I don't know if it was the rain. I don't know if it was other stuff. But I feel mostly okay now.
As Matt says, he has a Google Doc about stuff that came up during the meetup. Of course he does.
Of course you do, Matt. I will look at it.
Yes. In which Matt is also me.
Yes, I'll look at it very soon, Matt. I'm excited to look at it. Artsy said, Mamon's glorious claws are like our life goals.
Yeah, I love drawing her like bear claws.
Maman is the one character that Elena is always very, like, intent upon drawing fingernails on.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see Oscar with fingernails, too, because of all the characters, like, she strikes me as someone who would be very meticulous about keeping her nails nice.
Yeah, but I don't really draw outline nails unless they are, like...
I know.
Stuck on nails. Like, I actually think these are not Momo's actual fingernails. I think she has different sets of stick-on nails for different occasions.
Oh, that's possible.
Oscar would probably have a hard time keeping her nails long because of the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought...
What?
There's other reasons to not keep your nails
sure.
long.
Well, I mean...
Of course. Yeah. Seppi asks, Lau, Ash, did you get to do and see what you wanted while in New York City?
Well, we saw The Lion King, which I
Yeah.
really wanted to. It was amazing. I cried.
So did I. I cried during a song I really didn't expect to cry during, so that was like, oh,
Hakuna Matata.
no.
Oh my god, tell them about the breakdancing.
Yeah, the only complaint I have about the Lion King show we saw, everything was great. I felt like the actors were really excellent, but during Be Prepared, which is a song that does not need any help
That
to
song
be
is
better.
already perfect.
Yeah, it's already
You can't
perfect.
improve it.
During the middle of it, they just suddenly introduced these break dancers, and they were dancing to a completely new beat. It didn't really match with the song at all. They were in far less costume than everyone else on stage. It was like these mostly naked people just came out with these pseudo hyena masks and were breakdancing around the stage. And the whole theater, you could detect like the air,
That awkward sauce.
yeah, this aura of puzzlement.
Disdain.
Oh no, I think we lost the stream.
Oh yeah, it just froze for me.
Oh, and we're back.
Can you guys still hear us?
Can y'all hear us?
And then we wait because of the lag.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Suka looks so pretty, Elena.
Thank you.
Okay, Art says it's back.
Yay.
Hooray! Sorry. Was my breakdancing hyena story interrupted?
The break things in hyena story. That's just great without context. Ooh. So there's some yeses in there, but I don't know if they were answering your question, Ash.
About the stream being back online?
No, the stream is definitely back. So anyway, during The only thing that was wrong with the entire show that we saw, like that performance of The Lion King, was that during Be Prepared, which is a song that doesn't need any help to be any better, because, as Laura has said, it's already perfect, they had, like, right in the middle of Be Prepared, they had these people come out and start doing breakdancing. And the breakdancing was to a completely different, like, beat and rhythm than the rest of the song. The people who were dancing were dressed in far less costume than everyone else on stage. So it was like these mostly naked people came out in pseudo-hyena masks and were just dancing around. And the aura of puzzlement in the theater was so thick. Like, Laura and I just kept looking at each other like, what the hell is this?
Why? Why this?
And then it was over, and they continued on with Be Prepared like it hadn't happened, and we were all just very confused.
Yep. So there was that, but the rest of the play was amazing.
Yeah, like, it was really great.
The part that I really liked, we got, I think, the last 2 seats in the orchestra, wasn't it, when we bought them? And it was far off to the right. So upstage right, it was a bit obstructed for us because the upper seats were kind of blocking our view. But when we sat down, I told Ash, I'm sure that nothing important is going to happen there. Maybe we'll miss like a bird or two. It's going to be fine. And then, of course, that was exactly the spot in which Scar throws Mufasa off the cliff.
Yeah.
So we only lost Scar throwing Mufasa off the cliff. Just that tiny detail. But it was okay.
Yeah, the stream skipped again. That's really annoying.
We should definitely try the other one.
Yeah. Seems to be back now.
Oh, still going for me. And what else? We saw Central Park, which was also really great.
What else did we do?
Let me see. We went in the tram line.
Yeah. The Roosevelt Island tramway. That was really cool.
That was really cool.
It was. That was super awesome.
Space budgets, if you got to eat any real New York pizza.
No,
Well, we had pizza there, but I don't know if it was New York pizza because we ate it in New Jersey.
Yeah, we ate it at our Airbnb in New Jersey. It was good. But it didn't, like, set the world on fire. It's, like, the best pizza I've ever put in my mouth or anything.
Yeah, nothing's ever gonna top Brazilian pizza for me, guys.
What is he barking at?
I come from São Paulo. We have a very large, not that large, but we have a significant Italian population there. Italian descendants and stuff. So, Brazilian pizza for me.
Matt asks if we've looked into Twitch. Dang it. This thing... Right as I say this, the stream skips. So I think we might need to.
Yours did? Mine's still going.
Yours is still going?
It skipped a bit just now. I think it's still going. Yeah, it's still going. I just saw a pen move.
Yeah, it's back. Well, Matt, no, we haven't looked into Twitch, but now that is higher up on our priority list.
So what else? The first day we went to the tram line. We saw Central Park. We had lunch at a very good diner. And we passed by the Museum of Natural History.
Yes, we got to see a lot of really cool dinosaur skeletons.
We got majorly lost in the Port Authority bus terminal.
Yes.
It was very anxiety-inducing.
It was fun. We really did enjoy the meetup the next day.
No, that was one of the best parts, guys.
Laura told me after that the best part of New York was meeting the peeps.
Yes, that's you guys.
It's skipping again.
I don't know if it's the internet or if it's my computer not being able to handle this because it's a huge file and I don't have a ton of space on my computer. I don't know what it is.
And they also saw Times Square.
Matt says, yeah, you guys are skipping and freezing every few seconds right now.
Oh, God. Well, we're definitely gonna look into Twitch now.
Yeah. I'll say that, like, I think Times Square is really cool, but I have never had, like, a really good experience there.
Oh,
Because every single time I've gone, the weather has been really, like, not great.
really?
Yeah, it's either been really, really, really cold. This past time it was rainy.
It was. And then it began and it didn't stop.
Mm-hmm. And just once, I would like to go when the weather isn't crappy and it's not like miserably cold or hot or wet outside. So I could stand in that middle area and just look. But I always feel like I have to rush to somewhere to get under cover or get warm or, you know, cool again. So, yeah. I really enjoy taking the subway places.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that. We don't have public transportation like that here in North Carolina.
You're gonna like São Paulo in that aspect. Or maybe not, maybe you'll hate it. We'll see.
But for me, it's still like a really big novelty. So I like going and getting on the subway and traveling underground, and it just seems really cool.
I think it's pretty cool. What?
The thing keeps skipping. Yeah.
Oh, it's already midnight, so the page must be up.
Yeah.
I queued it up.
Thank you, dear heart. I'll go look and see. So tired.
I hope this translation of the title is correct because I was using Google Translate.
What does the title say?
A new teacher in English, and Google Translate told me it was una nueva maestra. Nova. I was trying to say in Spanish.
Nueva, no.
Yeah.
Una nuova maestra. Yeah.
Okay, so that's correct. Hey.
Brava.
Thank you.
Prego.
It's still funny hearing her say that because prego in Portuguese means nail.
Nail? Like fingernail?
No, like pa, pa, pa.
Huh, so weird.
Yep.
It's stuff like that that makes me think, like, did Portuguese really come from a Latin-based language?
Like I said, a lot of influence from indigenous languages and African languages too, I assume. Because we had a lot of slaves.
So did the U.S., but we don't have that many. I don't think we have that many words that were taken from that.
It's tripping out so badly over here. It's so aggravating when it does stuff like this.
Why couldn't we rely on technology?
I know.
It has betrayed us.
I am suffering, y'all, because if any of y'all have seen The Good Place, I am essentially Chidi. Like, that is me. That is, yes. If I was a nervous African man, the resemblance would just be total. Like, I have wanted for a long time, I even wrote about this in my Discord introduction. I have wanted for a really long time to get into bullet journaling. And every few months or so, I'll put in like a ton of research and almost get to where I buy a journal, and then like I'll just be overwhelmed by all the options and things, and then I just won't do it. And at this moment, I am very determined. Like, I really want to do this because I think I'll really enjoy it. It's the kind of thing that I can see myself getting really into. and it has always been the kind of thing that I can see myself getting really into. But my life is getting to the point where I really think making a lot of lists will be a good idea, and listing like good things like memories and stuff and having it to work on every day, I think it'll be a lot of fun. Not to mention satisfying. So I've been doing so much research into finding a journal that won't, like, where the paper won't bleed through and like terribly if I use a certain kind of pen and all this. And let me just tell you, there's like a lot of stuff out there you got to consider when you're trying to do stuff like this.
Well, if you're Ash.
If you're Ash. Well, for me, I don't want to spend, like $20 on a journal and have it get here and not even be able to absorb ink from a Sharpie pen.
Why would you use a Sharpie pen?
Because they're really easy to write with.
But there's so many other better pens to use.
I mean, I like using a Sharpie pen.
They just bleed through everything.
No, they don't. That's the thing.
That's your worry that keeps you awake at night. The stuff of your nightmares.
Yeah, first world problems, right? But, yeah, apparently it's really freezing a lot for people. It keeps flipping in and out for me, Elena. I can barely see anything that you're doing.
Well, it's still recording, so no matter what, there's going to be the recording of it.
Okay.
There's not really a lot I can do about the quality of the stream, but we can always put the recording up.
Okay.
So everyone can keep asking questions. If nothing else, they'll be there on YouTube for posterity.
Yeah. But I think when it blips out and stuff like that, people can't hear us, which doesn't help. Like, not only can they not see what Ellen is doing, they can't hear our replies.
I really hope when we end up moving that we move someplace with better internet.
You were telling me that it's you're kind of stuck here because there's only one provider or something like that.
Yeah. There's only one service provider here, and they have a monopoly on service. Like, there are a couple of other like competitors, but they tend to not be any better. So it's like, what is it? Stick with the devil you know. Is that an expression in Portuguese?
I'm trying to think now if there's any equivalent. I'm not sure now if we have an equivalent to that.
I forget the whole expression, but it's something about, like, if you have to pick a host of bad options, or if you have to pick amongst a host of bad options, you should stick with the devil you know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of
The lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
The lesser of two evils, we do have that one. Dos males o menor. Dos males o menor.
Dos males o menor.
That's right.
Grazie.
You're welcome. De nada.
De nada.
De nada.
We have a lot of equivalents to English sayings. Some of them are like almost word by word. And then we have our own. I think that English doesn't have.
Italian has some weird ones. Like, when you are saying good luck, you can say nel bocca al lupo, which means in the mouth of the wolf. And I don't know how that means good luck. Like, I don't really get. It's kind of like when you say break a leg to somebody who's going on stage.
Serious, right? My favorite one in Portuguese is like, what do you call like when there's a river and there's the margins have a slope? Is there a name?
bank?
The bank? The bank,
Yeah.
yeah, the bank. It's expression to say that everything has gone to shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, the cow is in the bank now.
Oh.
Because if a cow gets stuck there, they can't get out by themselves.
Mm.
Their hooves don't work.
Makes sense.
Apparently cows can go upstairs, but they can't go down. Because they're too scared and stupid.
Because they're just stupid.
Take that, any cows that are listening to this.
Now you had me wondering if Clementine or Claire would ever purify a shard of the front of a cow.
Oh, Matt wants to know, what is bullet journalism?
Bullet journaling.
Yeah, but he said journalism, so I was reading his question word for word. So bullet journaling, not journalism, it's this style of daily note-keeping where you use journals that are laid out, like the pages have these dot matrices on them, which like people use for certain things. It's a lot like graph paper, honestly. And
some people just call it dot journals, not
dot journal.
bullet journal. Bullet journal is like a brand that makes journals.
Uh-huh.
They look really cool, I think, with the little dots.
Yeah.
Full of possibility.
Mm-hmm.
The main appeal of them being that you can customize them in any way you like.
Yeah.
So you can draw your own graphs, or a lot of people like to make them really pretty with washi tape, or put pictures in them,
and
or
color
draw.
coded.
Yeah,
Unless they're already colored.
Like mine. It's not a big deal. It's letting me focus more on the layout rather than just. I could see myself getting way too obsessed with color coding things and not actually paying attention to the content of what I'm trying to write. So in a way, I think it's good training wheels for me to not have color as an option.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There is Michelle's mustache.
There it is.
So we know Stevie doesn't like it, but she is okay with it because she loves him so much.
Mm-hmm.
Who likes and who doesn't like Michelle's mustache?
I think Oscar admires it, but is so glad she doesn't have one. Like, I think she looks at it and she's like...
I dodged a bullet there.
Well, I think she looks at it and she's like, that is very handsome and magnificent, and I don't want it. You know? But I think she's like, but if I did have to have one, it would look like that.
Or she's like, but if I did have one, I would look awesome.
Yes.
But I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't look like that, but if I did, I would be amazing.
I could rock it.
Yeah. Oh, I feel so bad. Matt says it's lagging, freezing, skipping forward, repeating, and I'm hearing about one coherent sentence every 30 seconds. Can you try, like, stopping and starting it again?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm not going to stop the recording, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try that. Is your cheat code?
It doesn't bode well. I clicked stop the stream and it's still saying stopping stream, which means I might need to stop the recording too and restart the program.
I also don't need to.
Okay, I'm going to restart the program. So I'm sorry if you're listening to the recording of this. Please tune in for the third video of this series. See you next time.